Hello, everyone. Thank you for staying so late, and then this would be the last talk. So this is something I would say like a lightning talk on Scorecard. So we will start from very scratch, let's say maybe starting with supply chain, what it is, why you have to secure it, why there's a need of Scorecard. Okay, so starting with who I am. This is Aditya Soni. I have been working previously in Red Hat, and then from there I moved to Forrester. So yeah, currently I'm working at Forrester. I am one of CNCF ambassador, and yeah, I do a lot of community stuff. So if you see, like, I'm being a AWS community builder, and I do manage some local communities for India. So yeah, for this talk, I have been flying from India itself. So let's start because we having so less time, and then I don't want to be maybe just get to some late. So the first thing I want to discuss is about like what's the supply chain, because like I'll be just giving you some quick overview, and then we're gonna just move towards like what the heck that Scorecard is and how maybe you can integrate and use it. Okay, and then let's go against like what are the things that it can help you to guard. Okay, or maybe like we can check some quick demo like how actually Scorecard works, and that can be your GUI or maybe CLI or anything. And yeah, at the last, there's a score check. So we're gonna just run quick demo on like how the Scorecard works on different platforms or different repos. So yeah, let's start. So the first thing is like we do supply chain security. So what it is. So for me, if I say about like, so let's say if there's any hacker or anything that wants to just harm you by some code, like by the code stuff. So if you come about the SDLC or the software development process itself, so if we go to the foundation, that's the code. If someone can harm you directly with the code, so that's the worst way I would say, because later on he can just exploit everything. He can share any kind of data. He can do a lot of stuff with the same. Okay, so going forward, how you can secure the particular code itself. So that's all about supply chain. So if you see, we do have here the source code, and then that's going to be deployed somewhere. And while it's deploying, it can have a lot of compliance issue. It can have a lot of things. Maybe like you have some dependencies. Those are in your code, and then that can be harmful. So that's what like it is, the supply chain. And I'm damn sure you must have heard about this. So this is like the internet was on fire. So it was about Log4j. So they had something in their code itself, and then the library overall was like having some malicious activities. So that's how actually it went on the fire. So it's not about only this one, but there are lots of. If you see here, we do had here like the maybe if you start from the red ones, so those are the majors. So and like if you start from December 2020 to the like 21 itself, so it's just 1 year data. And then in that particular 1 year, we had a lot of things were going on in the same area. Okay, so the major ones are the red ones. So maybe you can take a look on those. Okay, so where from it started? So let's say this is from a particular comic, and I just took a reference. So if you see here, like we have all of the modern infra there, and all of the modern infra that we are building blocks. And that just depend on this particular piece that's I'm suggesting here. So if you see it, like everything, every piece of the infra, just depending on a particular piece, that is a particular dependency, or maybe someone is maintaining way before, because if you're building anything, that can be coming from particular pieces of code from that can be a second tier dependency, first tier, and then open source projects, and that's how it's coming. So while you're depending on this particular stuff, so if you see, like there was a random person who was just maintaining it since 2003, but you are not sure like now how the things are going on that particular dependency that you're using in your code. And that's how things started going in the worst side for you. So how you can basically check all of those things. Okay, so if you see in this diagram, so we have the first thing, that is the second layer open source dependencies. So that's how, if we talk about any particular software or any particular application or maybe any product you are building, so that's how it started. You do have the first thing is like some secondary dependency. On top of that, you just use some more dependencies, and then you just use your source code. Okay, so your source code depends on a lot of stuff. So if you want to, maybe tomorrow if there is any CVE coming in, if there is something coming in, so you have to maybe do a patch release. So patch release again depends on all of these steps, okay? So if you say about, this is the second layer, first layer, and then you have source code, and at the top of you have your application. Now suppose if something happens to the second layer or the first layer of the dependencies, how your source code will impact. Okay, and that's what happened when like Log4j or any of the like vulnerabilities came in. So obviously, as a developer or as a particular product maintainer, designer, you don't never want to be happen like this with you. So your direction should be like this, like why this is happening with me, why that's happening with me. Okay, so that's how. There is a need. So that's why we need the scorecard. Okay, so what the heck scorecard is? So if you see, it's just assets management, or maybe I would say it just give you some reports according to just giving you a particular series checks on your repository. Okay, so when I say on your repo, so it will be starting with your, but you have to give your URL, or maybe you have to pass your repository URL to this, and it will pass some server checks, and then accordingly, it will give you the results. Okay, so how actually it works, we're gonna check it later on. You can check the open source project that's in the github.com OSSF and then scorecard. Okay, so how scorecard can help you and what against it can guard you off. So if you see, if there's a malicious maintainers who are just, so you do have your project there, you have assigned some maintainers to them, or someone is having read or write or every access of the main branch. Okay, so on the time, that particular person can do, or that person can push anything. Okay, but think about, let's say, today, tomorrow, if he did something that you are not knowing of it, and he just pushed some malicious code, then how things will be worse for you. So that's how you actually need some protection on there, like you get you get to know, like, okay, this is the particular thing that has been pushed. And if you go about the next thing, that's the build system compromises. So you have any dependencies, as we talked about previously, like you do have your second layer, the first layer, and then your source code. So those can have a lot of dependencies. Okay, so those dependencies can be have some particular code that's harming you. And you can have the source code compromises or malicious packages. So you must be using malicious packages that can be in requirement.txt, package.json, or anywhere. So that particular package actually can be harmful, and that's why you need already a safeguard against those. So how scorecard works? So scorecards check the vulnerable code, or maybe each and every step. So it can be your source code, it can be build dependencies, it can be after just doing the testing and project maintenance. So scorecard checks each and every part of it. Okay, so if you think about the particular risks, so if you have any critical risk, it will rate from maybe 0 to 10, and then 10 would be the critical one. And if you come below, if you have a high risk, so it will go again from that particular pattern, like 7.5, then you have medium, the 5, and maybe if you have something low risk, that maybe you can ignore, and you can just build top of that, you can more build something, so you can just go on that particular thing. Okay, so how scorecard works? So you get actually three kind of, I would say, the platform or maybe the accessibility. So if you want to check any repo's report, you can check with the web viewer. Okay, so you have to just type the repo URL, and that will work for you. You have a CLI, so basically you have to just run a simple command. I'll show you quickly. And then you can integrate GitHub action also in the same. Okay, so if we start with the particular web viewer, so this is the particular website or maybe the particular domain that you can go scorecard.dev. And after that, you have to put this viewer URL, and then this will be your GitHub or GitLab URL. And there your particular username or organization name and repository name comes. So if I give you an example, so if we see here, we do have a github.com OSSF scorecard. And the same way, if you're going for CLI tool, you can just install scorecard first. That's come as a whole package. And you have to just export your GitHub or token, just create a pad token and just put it here. And just give only the repo read access, nothing else. And if you see, we have to just this command, scorecard-repo, and then just the particular repo name that you want to do. Okay, maybe let's just jump to quickly demo because, okay, so this is the one web UI that I was talking about. Let me just zoom it. So this is what we have. So after this, you have to put maybe your URL or if you're having anything. So I'm just using Kubernetes for now, and I'll just pass the Kubernetes URL to this, and that's how, if you submit it, you will get the whole report, like how the particular Kubernetes project or any open source project that's there is actually behaving. So if you see Kubernetes reports coming from 7.7, and then you can check all of those vulnerabilities, how the checks are going in detail here. Okay, so it will warn you with the vulnerabilities, with the particular CVEs or what's going on. If you want to get more details on the same, you can just check the documentation. And if you come to the CLI, so that's even giving you more detailed info. Let me just show you quickly. So this is what I did just before coming here for the CLI for Docker itself. So if you see, wait a minute. Okay. So I guess it's not visible. Let me just, okay, is it visible? Anyone? Yep, sure, thank you. So if you see here, like I have just passed the command, scorecard, and then repo name, that's the GitHub, like Docker CLI I'm using here. And for Docker CLI, all tests, it will start to just execute. And if you see below, you will get a detailed report, okay? So if you see, like, it will start from very basic, like binary artifacts. It will start with branch protection, how the branch protection is there, and then maybe all of the other tests. I have zoomed so much, so that's why the table architecture is just missed out. Let me just do this, and then, okay, that should be good. Cool. So yeah, that's about it. So maybe you can check the particular name, like it's checking the multiple, like it's checking multiple checks, and you can find the reason. What's the reason for the particular that score it's giving? So here it's given 10 on 10, so we are not having any issues. But if you see 0, like we are getting 8.10, and that's why like the reason is it. And if you want to check more, you can just check the particular doc, why it's mentioning this one, something like that. So that's from the CLI also, but there's another option you get that's from the GitHub action. So if you want to build that GitHub action, so what you have to do, so I'm having one particular public repo here, and it's having some written code 3 years back. So obviously it would be having a lot of vulnerabilities. That's why I chose this one. And if you see, and so what you have to do is you have to come to security, and after coming to security, you have to just click on code scanning, this part, and just you have to configure one scanning tool. So you will find multiple here, but if you want to go with Scorecard, you can just click on this, and you can just explore the workflows. So from here, other tools, I'm just going to explore some workflows. In workflows, you wanna find a Scorecard here. So yeah, it's there, OpenSSF Scorecard. So you don't have to do nothing, just configure it, and it will give you a particular file, that is the scorecard.yaml. You can maybe check more documentation if you want to work this YAML file according to your use cases. But for now, I'm just using the default one, and I'll just do the commit. So yeah, it's committed. Let's go and check how the things are moving for us. So it should be running currently in backend. So if you see in GitHub Actions, all workflow, I can see my Scorecard YAML is currently doing analysis. So after the analysis is done, I'll get the particular report directly on the GitHub itself. So that's how easy it is. Maybe if you want to do like an integration of the GitHub Actions, or later on, if you're planning to do it with the help of any CI/CD tool, you can use the APIs of Scorecard to do that, and then that will give you the whole analysis each and every time. The same way other tools actually works. So yeah, I guess this is done. It's saying succeeded, so let's check the report. So for checking the report, you can come here, you can, if you see all tools are working expected, and you have only one tool configured, that's the Scorecard for now. But let's check the report. So here you will see like each and every, so currently I'm having the high risks. Yeah, obviously that was there because I'm not maintaining this particular code from past 3 years. So that's how we are getting a lot of issues listed here. So I guess that's all about this particular lightning talk. If you have any questions, I'm open to those, and we can connect on the LinkedIn and anywhere. Thank you so much. Do we have any questions coming in? Yeah, please. Okay, so for the web browser score, yeah, so for web browser, Scorecard have their own APIs that's integrated to this one. So what you have to do is only come to here and just put the whatever GitHub URL or GitHub repo you have. Okay. So it's basically the if you are an org or if you are having your own particular public repo, so you have to just pass that URL or maybe the pass that repo name. Let me just zoom it out for you. No, it's not. It's not figuring out. You have to. So it's just an example URL that's already there. Okay, 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 okay. Yeah, let me show you. Let me show you that one too. Yeah, I got it, got it. Sorry. So it's this one. Yep, it's this one. And we do have here the maintainer of Scorecard sitting with us there. So maybe if you have more questions, you can check with them too. Okay, I guess we are good. Thank you.